For 2020, I think what was really, for me, the big highlight was number one, DeFi. We've seen really like a blossom of DeFi initiative, groups, platforms. So that's a very big thing. And the big takeaway is, yes, this is a big experimentation, but what it means for the ecosystem overall is that there is a new wave of new type of talents coming in. It's not only the engineers in coding, but it's also they are joined now by the engineers in finance. That's really a big highlight for me. The second one in the region, especially APAC, is the CBDCs. China CBDC was really kind of creating some peer pressure here in the region, and we've seen as the HKMA working even harder on their CBDC. The Bank of Thailand. There is also great work in Singapore with the MAS. ConsenSys is involved with a project in Australia as well. So CBDCs are really pushing forward, and it's a big shift in the industry. It really shows that there is an institutional and regulatory adoption. So it's a very, very strong news here. So Angie, first prediction for 2021, the Asia DeFi will continue this fast growth. So we've got D-Force, we've got Ben, we've got Xfers in Singapore. Huobi in the region is also launching a big DeFi initiative. BitMEX is probably reinventing itself, so let's keep an eye on this. FTX in Hong Kong has been very active in DeFi. Alpha Finance. So it looks like a global market, but I think there is so much happening here in Asia, and DeFi will keep growing here in the regions as well. Number two, we're going to see more and more DeFi merger and acquisition. So if you look carefully, 2019, Tron acquired Poloniex. 2020, we've got Yearn, which is a leading DeFi protocol, acquired or partnered with Pickle, Cream, Covers, Acropolis. So very strong wave of merger and acquisition. And a few weeks ago, Genesis Block here in Hong Kong acquired the second layer technology called OMG Network. So I think this trend will keep growing and keeping the pace. So we should expect a big and major acquisition in DeFi next year, and probably involving some Asian players. I also think that Asia will remain and kind of rise as the staking capital of the world. Asia is the center of mining when it comes to Bitcoin or proof of work with Ethereum. And I think the switch of the technology from proof of work to proof of stake will keep a strong leadership with Asia. And I think the staking capital of the world will definitely be in Asia. Should it be China, Japan, or somewhere else? But with ETH2, Filecoin, Tezos, and DOT, staking loves Asia. Also, we're going to see, I believe, the commoditization of blockchain hosting or blockchain as a service. These kind of services offered by cloud service providers are getting more and more common. The prices are going down, and they are becoming way cheaper and much more accessible. So it's a big trend in terms of the way the industry is shaping itself. The same as web hosting. Web hosting was expensive in the early days. Blockchain hosting is still a cost within the project, but this cost will go down. CBDCs versus stablecoins. We talked about CBDCs for 2020, a lot of traction there, but they have to compete with stablecoins, which are close to $15 billion of assets represented globally. So I believe the stablecoins will keep growing, and I believe the CBDCs will need to either change regulations to keep the space for them, like we are seeing in China. Or maybe the CBDCs will need to make sure they've got a very strong proposition to compete against the privately issued currencies. And we will see Asian Bank, I believe, being the first banks to tokenize currencies, not only their national currencies, but some others as well. And maybe we will see a major acquisition in the stablecoin business. There is a few players which already have the infrastructure, the momentum in terms of market, and probably a large payment provider will want to acquire a stablecoin business. So that will be an interesting outcome to see. And if we look carefully, some players are very quiet lately, so it might be signaling that they are working on something. The competition between China and US, the first battle will probably be around CBDCs, but I believe the next battle, and probably it might be starting next year, will be around encryption standards. There is a lot of technologies which are competing globally, and the way you're going to be able to kind of build some fence around your market will be around standards. and encryption standards are one of the tools you can use to protect your market. Number 7, a major Asian exchange acquisition in 2021. There is a lot of noise in the market, but I'm sure this is going to trigger either before or after Chinese New Year. Institutionals, probably let's bet on 25% of Asian bank to offer digital asset custody as a start in 2021. We see a lot of action in Singapore, and I'm sure the other regions will follow. And that's good infrastructure allowing to more business to be built. Number 9, IF2 will keep progressing very nicely. A great start on time. I think the market is now convinced. The developers are now convinced that the wagon have started for IF2, and the progress will keep rolling out. Mainnet. Prediction number 10. Mainnet will keep growing. The era of intranet is gone. Look at layer 2. Look at baseline. But there is really this mainnet capability from ETH or some other networks. Is really something very meaningful and actionable for practitioners. That's a very easy one. Number 11, more tax and more regulation. Number 12, the world will realize the influence of the Hong Kong crypto and digital assets ecosystem. If you look at how many companies are here, how many global players have operations also in Hong Kong, I think we're going to see the rise of the Hong Kong players, and Hong Kong will benefit from that. Maybe we're going to see number 13, the first fintechs suffering from stablecoin on CBDCs. Stablecoins on CBDCs are creating value, which might be an overlap with some fintech around like the cross-border payment business, and this fintech might be suffering from innovation at central bank base. So let's look at local champions, at international champions, but there is a lot of cross-border fintech here in Asia, and maybe some of them will start to suffer, or maybe have to reinvent themselves. Another interesting one, I believe, will come very fast, way faster than people would expect. I believe that the original stockbrokers for classic equities will start to lose market shares against the crypto exchanges offering global equity exposure via digital asset. A fair chunk of the new entrants in the trading business will be actually moving directly to crypto exchanges, and the old stockbrokers will remain with their classic products, which are a commodity now, and some of them will start suffering. Number 15, traditional assets will come to DeFi. Think of invoices for trade finance. Think of government bond. They could be used as collaterals or get liquidity in the decentralized finance world. Number 16, some companies will start raising or finance themselves with stablecoin or crypto. So you're going to raise maybe in US dollar, and instead of receiving a fiat transfer to your bank account, you're just going to share with your investors your wallet and receive USDC or some other type of stable coins. I predict also the first borrowing on the market against your reputation by a large company. Today, if you want to raise funds, you can issue a bond, you can issue all kind of different mechanisms. But I think we're going to be able to start seeing companies raising in the crypto markets funds for their operations or their trading activities, and their collateral will be their reputation. So just imagine you are a very big player in the space. Yeah. You are very reputable, and you build a mechanism where actually you're going to raise, let's say, 50 million US.
Yes.
And if you do not return the money together with the interest on time, everyone will know you are not as reputable as you were before. Number 18, decentralized index funds. Angie, you were talking a few minutes ago about ETFs and the traditional equity. ETF and index funds are very, very big business in the traditional world, and they are slowly showing traction in DeFi. So I believe we're going to be able to see like decentralized index funds reaching $1 billion US altogether next year. Look at ConsenSys and Cent protocols. There is already some good momentum over there. Number 19, DeFi will support CeFi. You can now get DeFi insurance for your investment in centralized finance to cover the risk of a CeFi platform falling down or a CeFi platform having a hack. So there is these very interesting blurry lines where you will go in the decentralized market to get an insurance for your centralized crypto investment platform. And that's super interesting. So to see how this kind of convergence is happening in ways we don't always expect. 20, the Western CeFi players such as exchanges will keep accelerating their expansion in Asia. If you look at the job market, or if you are practitioners like we are, we see and we serve some of these global players expanding in Hong Kong, expanding in Singapore and some other places. Think of Kraken, BlockFi, Coinbase, Conflex, Gemini. All of these Western players are definitely expanding in Asia because the demand is there and they need to kind of beef up their game here in the region. 21, more and more DAOs. DAO had a bad reputation from the 2016 story, but if you look at the giants of DeFi are now more and more moving their governance to a DAO platform such as Wyre or Gnosis, DXDAO. Aragon is looking at more and more activity within the community, and their stack is growing very strongly. So I think the experimentation phase has went through for the DAOs, and we're going to be super impressed by how much of the governance is moving to programmable governance for larger and larger projects. And the last one, I believe your COVID data will be running on blockchain. We need to start traveling again. We need to be able to share data between many different players. You need to record and share clinical events such as you receiving a vaccine or you getting a negative test on COVID. And blockchain is just the perfect infrastructure for each user to collect and be the owner of this personal health data, but being able to share it as well to airplane companies or insurance companies whenever you need that. So that's maybe also another avenue for bringing more users to the technology. Your COVID data wallet is probably on its way.
If you like that, come back for more. All you have to do is click like, always comment, we love that, and subscribe. And don't forget to watch the next one.